Don Pratt, host of a show here on Rogers TV that gives you a perspective of policing your community. Welcome to Policing York Region. Today I've got the opportunity of chatting with Constable Armando Pecchia. Armando, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And can you explain a bit about your role and what bureau you're with?
Well, I'm with part of traffic, and specifically the Commercial Motor Vehicle Safety Unit.
Right. So traffic is broken down into different areas, I guess, right?
Yes.
And so you're specializing in commercial motor vehicles.
Yes.
Fantastic. So what all do you guys do then?
So what we do is we promote road safety.
Okay.
We're dealing with commercial motor vehicles.
Right.
So basically we enhance what MTO does as well.
Okay.
We'll enforce the Highway Traffic Act when it comes to safety regulations for vehicles, in particular trucks, but
okay.
I mean we'll deal with like modified cars, other vehicles that don't appear safe to be on the road, then we'll inspect those as well.
Right. Yeah, so I had the opportunity of getting out to, I guess it was a kickoff for motor vehicle safety. And you seem to have had a lot of other partners and agencies there.
Okay, yeah, that's our annual joint force operation, Commercial Motor Vehicle Safety Initiative, and we do that every year at Wonderland. It's a 2-day initiative, and yeah, we join together with about a dozen other agencies, like municipal police partners, as well as Ministry of Transportation and other partners as well.
Right. So I guess the other policing agencies are there to do the same things that you are, but some of the other agencies that I've seen there, we had the Ministry of Environment. I think we've seen the Minister of Finance.
Yes.
What would their roles?
So the Ministry of Finance, what they do is part of their role in our initiative is they'll when we have the vehicles there, we're inspecting the vehicles. Their portion is they'll test the fuel system.
The fuel system?
Yeah, to make sure that they're not running, it's called colored diesel.
Right, right.
That should only be used for farm purposes.
So somebody that has a farm has, I guess, permissions to buy the colored fuel at a cheaper rate.
Yeah, they get a discount.
So it's not meant to be used in highway run vehicles.
Exactly, yeah.
So they're looking for that?
Yes.
Right, okay, and the Ministry of Environment, I think, was there?
Yes, what they do is they'll check the emission control systems on the vehicles, make sure everything's in order, make sure that they've passed their tests and. Right,
so that they're not pumping bad emissions into the air. Right?
Yeah.
Some of the other agencies that might have been there, other than the police services.
Other than police services. Like I said, the Ministry of Transportation.
Right.
But again, they do the exact same thing that we do. They inspect the vehicles.
Okay, so inspecting the vehicles, what kind of things are you looking for?
We look we encompass everything from the driver to the vehicle to the load. And any vehicles that they're towing, the connections, all safety aspects.
I guess the vehicles mechanically.
Yes.
You're making sure that it stops.
Yeah.
Properly.
Absolutely, yeah. Braking systems, steering components, suspension, and again, if they're towing a trailer behind, then the connections have to be safe as well.
Right, and I suppose vehicles have to match whatever they're towing. You don't want to.
Yes, yeah.
You don't want to pick up a 150 pickup truck towing a 15-ton.
Exactly.
trailer.
Yeah. You got to make sure that they're rated for what they're pulling.
Right, and there's rules as far as the operators for these vehicles. What are some of the things some of the guidelines they need to follow? So,
as an operator, the owner, they're responsible, obviously, to keep their fleet in order, safe-wise. Paperwork-wise, they need to keep track of their driver's hours.
Okay.
Run
through that then. What would we actually be looking at on this is a driver's log, I take it, of some kind?
Yeah, okay, but that's going towards like a long haul trucker. Not everyone has to run a log, but the owner has to keep track of everyone's hours regardless of.
So there's different, I guess, is it different categories?
Yes, exactly.
So to speak?
Yeah.
And what would they be then?
So if you have your long haul, so if you if you're operating outside of a 160-degree radius from where your home terminal is, then all the drivers are regulated to keep their own log. And when stopped by an officer, they must produce their set of logs to ensure that they're not going outside of their hours.
Right. So each operator is only allowed to drive so many hours per term, whether it be a day or a week or whatever, right?
Exactly.
And so as far as inspections go, I mean, you did the grand one, the kickoff.
Yep.
You have others throughout the year as well?
What we do is in York Region, we have a set schedule. Every week we'll go out to different parts because obviously it's a big area. So we'll partner up with our community-oriented response units in different areas, and we'll set up just little mini blitzes here and there all across, anywhere from Markham to Vaughan up to Keswick. Right. And again, we'll enforce all the safety components with commercial vehicles.
Right. And so is this complaint driven, or is it more?
There is some.
There's some level.
We do get some complaints, and then we'll hit those areas. But a lot of times we'll just pick different spots, random spots, and just make sure that everybody's abiding by the law.
So one thing slightly different as far as structure goes with the traffic unit as opposed to some of the others is you're not really dictated to a district.
No,
so your regional police traffic unit is all of York Region.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. And although you may work with specific districts, or you will work with specific districts in their complaint areas, right?
Exactly.
Right. And so, how many is it a fair question? How many inspections would you do throughout a year?
Throughout a year, it could be a few thousand.
Wow.
Yeah. Because again, we join together with. There's only 4 in our unit. Yes. But again, every week we join with different districts, and we get more work done that way.
So, and particularly in this time of year, summer, there's a lot of outdoor type construction happening. I understand those types of vehicles are of higher concern this time of year.
So there's a lot of we tend to focus on the smaller fly-by-night type of organizations where I think they're more concerned about getting all these jobs done, getting from job A to job B, and sometimes they'll do back and forth in a day, right? And they let their maintenance go to the wayside, and they figured we'll just drive it until it breaks. Yeah. So and the other issue too with the smaller landscaping type of businesses, especially summertime, they'll hire a lot of summer students. Yes. So the owner will say to the student, okay, just take this truck and trailer and just go to that subdivision and do what you got to do. Yeah. Well, the poor student, he just wants to make a buck.
And there may not be the experience.
And there's no training involved. Yeah. When I stop these guys, I'll ask them for the documentation, and if they did a trip inspection, and they just give you the deer in the headlights look. Yeah. They have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, they didn't know that they were supposed to.
No, the boss just tells them, here's the keys and go.
Right.
So, for the owners out there, they should realize that, okay, maybe you think that you're passing off the responsibility of the driver, but with us on roadside, we have the authority. We can charge the driver, or we can charge the company, or we can charge both.
It's not just the operator's responsibility.
No, it's all. I mean, it's one thing to not understand the paperwork that's involved because your boss didn't train you. Yeah. But if you're carrying a bunch of lawn equipment on the back and it's just rolling around, you're responsible. Of course. At the end of the day, if you lose your load, that's
Well,
that's got to be on you.
We came across a very similar scenario just recently, where a small size pickup truck was pulling a rather large size trailer with some kind of earth mover, like some form of bobcat or something in the back, and the bobcat was just rocking back and forth. It was just the body of the trailer that was holding it in, and fortunately, before we called it in, it was already being pulled over. Yeah.
We get a lot. That's another big component that is load security. Because again, a lot of people they just want to go from A to B. They'll slap a piece of rope. Yeah. Sometimes bungee cords. Yeah. It has whatever they're using. It has to be rated, whether it's chain, whether it's a proper strap, and you have to have the proper amount of securement to hold your your equipment down.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. Right tools for the right job, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Keeping everybody safe.
Yeah. And another thing too that people don't realize. So in that scenario there with the Bobcat, he might be even he might not even be properly licensed, because when you have a trailer behind you, and if that trailer weighs more than 4,600 kilos, now all of a sudden, driving your G-class truck has now gone to an A-class because of the weight of the trailer.
What's the difference between a G-class and an A-class?
The A-class is when you're towing a vehicle that's in excess of 4,600.
Excessive weight.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
so even though
so you do have to be mindful of that then.
Oh yeah, you got to keep.
It's a combination of the weights of the vehicle and what you're towing.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever that adds up to, if it's more than.
Well, yeah, with the A, it's just specific to the trailer weight.
Okay. Wow. So yeah, people have to be cognizant of that, right?
Exactly.
And so what's the? I'm more curious than anything. When people are being pulled over, whether it be at random or whether it be at spot checks, what's the most prominent thing that you find?
Probably it's the daily trip inspections. And if I can get the message about anything, it's do a proper trip inspection.
Right.
It doesn't take much. Like, I mean, I do it on the side of the road. When I do a traffic stop, that's what I'm doing essentially, is that daily trip inspection.
All right.
And it's like 5-10 minutes.
Fantastic. Armando, we'll be right back. We'll be back to chat more about commercial motor vehicle safety. Welcome back, folks, and we're sitting chatting with Constable Armando Pecchia of the Commercial Motor Vehicle Inspections Unit. And Armando, welcome back. That was a great first piece. I guess I kind of wanted to touch on some of the other things that, as much as it's commercial motor vehicle inspections and that we have a primary focus on, you're involved in some other areas of road safety as well.
Yes, yeah. We another part of our portfolio, if you want to call it that, we deal with the Erase project.
Okay, Project Erase. We've heard of it.
Yep, it's an acronym for Erase, eliminate racing activity on streets everywhere.
Okay, right.
And basically, what that does, we're looking for the modified vehicles.
Right.
You know, we go out at night and we look for racing, the racing crowd, so to speak, and try to keep that down to a minimum.
So these are groups of people that form?
Yes, yeah. Whether it's sometimes it could be a simple car show, and a lot of times some of the attendees there, they'll end up leaving and setting up activities elsewhere.
So these folks are actually using the streets.
Oh yeah.
For a race.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is part of what you're trying to eradicate. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So on the vehicles themselves, you referred to modifications.
Yeah. So myself, I'm a mechanic. Another.
Okay, so you have a background in mechanics.
Yeah, I have some background.
Gives you a bit of a leg up.
Yeah.
On this. Okay.
Yeah. So our role in it is we'll stop these vehicles. Excuse me. And we'll do like a roadside quick inspection on the vehicle to make sure that, just because a vehicle is modified doesn't mean it's automatically unsafe for the road.
Okay.
There's some, changing your rims in the car, changing the paint, whatever. It's not going to affect the security, right? But sometimes they're quite radical. They'll lower the vehicle so low that now the wheels are in contact with other portions of the vehicle. Okay.
So you've compromised the suspension of the vehicle.
Exactly, yeah.
So basically the control and maneuverability of it, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Right. So what are some of the other things that you might be looking for in modifications?
So again, a lot of it has to do with the suspension because that's the major one. They'll lower it. Lately, a big trend is they call it cambering. So what they'll do is they'll get their tires.
I've seen.
Okay. And
they're on a slant.
Yeah, they'll slant them in.
Yeah, never quite understood the look of that. But,
yeah. Again, I think it's more of a look than anything. But another reason why is they want to get the biggest size tire into that wheel well. And you can't do it straight, so they kind of angle it to make it fit better. But now you have your tire, which is supposed to have a tread patch so much that's supposed to contact the road.
Okay.
Now you're cambering the tire. Now you've just reduced that your contact to the road. Not to mention your steering is all out of whack.
So again, you're limiting the control of the vehicle,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
And we talked about emissions.
Yes, that's another aspect that we look at. So what they'll do is, because some portions of the emission controls will put a damper on your performance. So one of the things that they'll do is they'll dismantle, they'll hollow out catalytic converters, or they'll get rid of them altogether, run straight pipes.
And the catalytic is what helps refine some of the
exactly
exhaust,
it
right?
cleans the exhaust, so you're not getting that.
So now you're putting more
smog
pollutants in the
exactly
air, right? And yeah, okay. And so just a thought of obviously your unit's relatively small. You're very active and you're very productive in what you do. Mm-hmm. But if a frontline officer is out and sees, whether we're talking about a street racing vehicle or an unsafe commercial motor vehicle, and maybe they don't have the training to know what to look for, would they contact your office?
Yeah. We again, when we're on the road, we get called all the time. Officer has a traffic stop with a commercial vehicle. We'll attend. We have portable scales.
As a support to that front line.
Absolutely. And in addition to that, we provide a 3-day training for the front line. And we've actually our unit, along with other units from all across Ontario, we formed a committee called the Ontario Police Commercial Vehicle Committee. Okay. So, and basically, we do all training all across. We keep it all standard so that everything's and nothing gets out of whack.
Right. Keep it uniform across the board, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, it's nothing intense like the training that we get from MTO, where we're crawling underneath the truck. We give them a basic knowledge, what to look for when it comes to documents, and just a quick walk around.
Right.
So at least when they're stopping these vehicles, they're not.
So if it doesn't look right, they can start looking into it a little further.
Yeah,
right?
And if they see something really bad, then they can call us and say, look, this is what we got. The documents are good, but I see something that's not right underneath.
Well, that's great to know. I didn't realize that the frontline officers had some of that training as well.
Yeah, we do in York. We do 2 training sessions, but then we also have OPP does like a dozen of them a year.
Right.
Right. And again, everybody shares. So whether it's Toronto, whether it's York, we'll engage all together, and we'll have officers.
And this is something that on this show we learn a lot about, and then we hear about, is all the partnerships that each of the bureaus seem to have interagency. Yeah. Right. There's.
We work really well togetger.
Yeah.
And it's good to see.
Well, I've seen that at our
Wonderland
the kickoff inspection blitz. I mean, everyone was on the same page. Everyone knew what their roles were. It all went fluid, as if everyone worked together every day. Yeah. Right. So it's great to see that happens in other
Yeah, actually, right now Waterloo is having one as well.
Oh, right.
We got some of our guys there as well.
Right. So you're partnering with them.
Oh yeah. They come to help us. We help them.
Right. Yeah. Right. So you share the stage no matter whose region it's in. Right?
We promote road safety everywhere.
It doesn't matter where.
It doesn't matter.
You all have that common goal, right?
Yep.
We were talking about training then. So the frontline officers, they do get a certain level of training. To be in your capacity or in somebody similar to your capacity, what kind of training is involved there?
What we do for our unit in particular, we have it's like a 2-month course from MTO.
Oh, okay.
And they go through everything from paperwork to crawling underneath the vehicle, getting familiar with all the systems.
Okay, so you do gain quite a bit of knowledge of the mechanics of the vehicle.
Oh yeah.
So you do know what to look for and what to recognize. I know a big topic a few years ago, and I don't know that I've heard so much about it recently, was loose wheel lugs.
Yes.
Loose tires.
Yeah, so that was about 10 years ago or so.
Was that long ago? Okay,
yeah,
so
there was a big, huge thing where.
Yeah, there was fatalities.
Yeah, because again, And some people think, well, yeah, the loose wheel nuts and then a tire comes off. How much damage? Well, we're talking, when we're talking truck tires, well, there's two kinds of wheel offs. There's one where your wheel nuts come off, but the bigger one is the hub assembly. So when you're talking on a tractor trailer, it's like one attachment that holds the dual set on.
Yes.
So you'll see the whole dual set come off.
Oh, wow.
So if they're on the highway, you're getting these two wheels come at you at 100 kilometers an hour, and that's set because you're not just talking about the two wheels. You're talking about the two wheels plus part of the braking assembly that's all bolted together. So it's like 500 pounds coming at you.
So a tremendous amount of weight.
Yeah, and it'll cut right through the car.
And then you know, with the inertia of, you know, he's coming at you 100 kilometers.
Exactly.
You're going, that's what a horrible mess.
Oh, it's devastating. Yeah.
And we did hear a lot of that at the time. And I guess there was a lot of talk about it, and they did implement some I guess guidelines on wheel lugs.
Yeah, they came down, and again, even regardless whether it's a big truck or whether it's your small little Honda Civic, we also get wheel offs on those as well.
Yes.
And it's generally it's springtime and it's fall. And why? Because people are putting on their summer tires and people are putting on their winter tires.
Okay.
So it's very important, if especially if you're doing it at home.
Know how to torque them.
Get a torque wrench and torque them. And even, I recommend even after you get them done, even if you've gone to your general garage and they've torqued them, go back again a week later.
Yes.
It's always recommended to get them retorqued about 100 kilometers after you get your tires changed.
Yeah, no, there's a reason the vehicles have those specifications on them, right?
Exactly.
And it's to mitigate things like that from happening.
Yeah.
And I have to agree with you. You know, sometimes, you know, people doing it on their driveway, I get it, you're saving $1, and really, you know, most of us are somewhat mechanical, we can handle that, but you got to take that extra step.
Exactly. People they figure that's just a bolt. I'll just tighten it up and it's good enough.
Right.
But you're talking about a 2,000-pound vehicle.
And on the larger vehicles, I see on the wheel lugs themselves, there's like a little arrow.
Yeah. So
that was part of the safety implementation.
Yeah, it's an indicator. It doesn't stop the wheel from.
Of course not.
So what it does is it just indicates when.
And it doesn't mean you don't have to check them.
No, exactly. No, you still got to check them. Yeah, but it just indicates as they're walking around, if they see that little marker that's moved, hey, now I got a loose wheel nut, and
something to pay attention to.
Exactly.
Right. So we mentioned on the earlier segment that some of the more prominent things that you would find on the smaller landscaper type trailers, truck combinations is basically loose load. Yeah. But on the bigger trucks, if 10 of them were pulled off the road, what would the primary?
It could be anywhere from anything from brakes, because again, when you're dealing with a tractor trailer, you don't just have 4 wheels. Yeah. You have
multiple sets,
multiples. So there's
braking systems.
There's a lot of brakes on there.
Yeah.
So
each axle on the trailer plus the axles on the vehicle
exactly.
itself.
So and each one has to be adjusted properly.
Yeah. Well, I know it. I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier or not, but at that commercial motor vehicle kickoff that you did, we watched one pull in that had no front brakes, and it was determined that they hadn't had for months. Yeah. So somebody hadn't been. Obviously.
The maintenance. Some of these guys will drive until it breaks.
That's incredible. It's the risks that you're taking.
Yeah, they're huge, and some of them don't understand that. Okay, you're driving the vehicle, like you're responsible. If you end up killing somebody, it's going to be on you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, you have to. It only makes sense. I mean, I drive just a 1-ton van. I still do the circle check every day. Mm-hmm. I still do the regular maintenance to make sure that tires are tight, brakes are working.
Yes, that's important.
Some of these things are just common sense, and I guess it does happen too that people they get busy in their daily routines, and that maybe takes precedent. That's where you guys come in, right?
Exactly.
And hopefully help reduce that. Yeah. Right. But your unit gets out to all areas of the region at different times of the years.
Yep.
Do you have heightened times of the year that are more active for you than others?
Anytime from spring all the way to fall. The winter time it kind of slows down because again, pavers. There's no paving going on. A lot of construction is gone. They shut down for the winter, right?
Okay, so it's a little bit lesser.
Yeah. We're still out, but again, we don't get that much.
And then you wouldn't get as much of the smaller vehicle, I guess, right?
Yeah. Those are next to nil.
That's more this time of the year, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. It's always good to know, right? Like in all areas of York Regional Police, that traffic is out there keeping us safe on our roads, and this is just another extension, another avenue that's happening, right?
Yeah.
How long has this unit actually been in place? Is it a reasonably new unit, or has it been around for a while?
No, we came about probably 08, 09.
Okay, so it's been around, so close to 10 years.
Yep.
And it's obviously grown, and York Regional Police sees the need for it. The region sees the need for it.
Absolutely.
Right, and they do a great job out there.
Well, we try our best.
Yeah. Well, Armando, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a great piece of information, and we look forward to seeing you again out at those commercial motor vehicle inspections.
For sure. Come on out.
Folks, that wraps up this episode of Policing York Region. Thank you for watching. For more information on YRP, yrp.ca. For more information on Rogers, rogerstv.com. Been great having you. Look forward to seeing you again.